Hello, my name is Martin Bissig and I am a Canon ambassador. I am an outdoor action and sports photographer and usually I take my shots outside. There are a couple of things I need to consider when going out on photo shoots nowadays. The first rule, keep the social distance, which is pretty easy for me as an outdoor photographer. I can keep at least 2 meters of distance between myself and the athletes or the clients. The second rule, we're not allowed to have more people than 5 in a group when we go outside for a photo shoot. And the third, for me the most important rule is, and it applies not only to these times but in general, play it safe. It's never worth to take a risk just to get a shot. I have a couple of ideas on how you can improve your action photography skills around your house. So here's my tip number 1. I'm here with Julian, my neighbor.
Hello.
He will be my model for today. What we're trying to do first is we will do a panning shot. What does it do? It will actually blur the background and it will give a lot of movement in the picture, a lot of action is going on. Now, it's quite a difficult technique and it needs a lot of practice, and even for me, I will need to do it quite a lot of times in order to nail it. What we are doing on the camera, we set the camera to TV mode and we dial down the exposure to a very slow time, a 1/30th, 1/40th or even a 50th of a second. You need to try and play a little bit with the settings in order to get the desired results. Now I will have him go parallel to me and I will try to go with him and shoot while he is moving. Now it's very important that the subject is moving parallel and is not moving towards me or away from me, otherwise it's pretty hard to get the desired results. It's also very important that I try to keep my camera in the same movement as he goes, try to keep the same speed, have it on a high frame setting. The higher frames the better, because you will get more frames and hopefully one of these frames will be sharp and will be good to use. So let's try that one out. It does need a lot of practice and you need to try it and try it and try it again. Best thing is to check it back home on a computer, but you cannot actually try too much because most of the frames you will take, the rider, the athlete, the animal, whatever you're shooting, will not be perfectly fine and in focus. And as I said, it needs a lot of practice, but if you're getting the shot, it's quite rewarding, and this is something you can easily try with any moving object. You may have noticed I was shooting Julian against the light. So here we go with my tip number 2. Here with me is Julian's sister, Alicia. And she will be my model, and I would like to demonstrate to you how I take portrait shots straight against the light. This is probably something you are not used to do because you don't feel comfortable even when looking after taking the shots back on your screen. It can be quite dark and it might seem to be underexposed, but what I'm doing right now is I'm standing in front of her and I will shoot that she's got the sun right in her back. What I love about this, it gives that little glow around that person, and there's always a possibility to lighten up the picture afterwards. So one thing you need to keep in mind when shooting straight against the light, you have a very clean lens. If there's any dust or anything on the front lens, the picture doesn't look nice at all. If you've got a good lens with a wide aperture, 2.8 or even wider open, shoot as wide open as you can. It gives that nice blurry little background. Also, if you use a little bit of foreground as you've seen in my shots before, it will give that depth to the image. So give it a try. Shoot against the sun. The lower the sun, the better the results, and do some work afterwards in Lightroom or Photoshop to brighten up the person, and you will get nice portrait shots that you probably haven't taken before. Maybe you own a wide-angle lens, so this will be the time now to try out some new angles. So here's my tip number 3. It's actually a pretty nice and neat feature to control your camera with your mobile phone. It allows you to go into positions that you probably wouldn't do. You can place your camera safely somewhere and you can remote control your shutter speed with your mobile phone with almost no lag. So this is pretty cool to get into positions that you probably wouldn't do, and it's a nice way to try out your wide-angle lens with a moving subject without getting actually into the line of fire. If you have a speed light in your camera bag, take it out now and try some new creative ways to take action shots. Last night I went out with Julia and Alicia and I took these photos. I can reveal that much. No Photoshop or post-production was involved in getting these shots. If you're interested in how I got these, leave a comment below and I would like to show it to you in my next video. Until then, please stay safe, have fun taking pictures and stay creative.